guys, so Maybelline changed the formula and packaging of their eyeshadows recently, and what I did was I went out and bought one of the eyeshadows in the new formula of the same thing that I had in the old formula so that I could compare them. And I'm also going to do some swatching on some of the new formulas that I have bought recently and not so recently when they first came out. And then I'm also going to tell you about something else related to Maybelline eyeshadow. So let's get started. Okay, so I already had Earthly Taupe in the original formula and packaging, which I was talking about this in a video the other day. And that's what that looks like. And then I went out and got the newer version, which looks like that. And the only difference in the packaging is in the new packaging, it's more square and flat, but it looks like it's relatively the same size. And, you know, it's not a huge change. But what I was curious about was the formula. So I thought, yeah, let's swatch these things and try it out. Okay, so the old formula Earthly Taupe is going to be on my ring finger, and then the new formula Earthly Taupe is going to be on my middle finger. So not really a big difference. Now, what about the color? Did they remain true to the color? Pretty much. Doesn't look like they really changed it. This one here, which is the newer one, looks maybe a little bit lighter. It's such a slight difference though that I wouldn't say they changed it significantly. And yeah, that color doesn't show up too well on my skin. But either way, it's not the most pigmented eyeshadow in the world, and there is definitely better out there. But if you just want something inexpensive and you really pack it on, you can get it to show up if you've got, I would say, light skin. But my friend Holly Ann was saying that she couldn't get that eyeshadow to show up on her at all, but I think that's because the tone of her skin is different than mine. But I can see how, you know, it's very, very light and it is warm tone, so I can see it just blending right into her skin and, you know, not being able to show up at all. But if you're more cool tone like me, you'll be able to see it a little bit. So if you just want something subtle, it's okay. Now, what I did, oh, and I did want to mention, I mentioned this in a previous video, but just in case you didn't see it, I did go out and get Nude Glow. And this I really do like, and I feel like this is definitely worth the money. It's got a different texture to it. Those ones I just showed you were matte. This is more of like a, oh, how would I describe it? I guess this would be like a frost, but it's really not. See how it's like, it doesn't have a frost finish. How would you describe this? Satin, maybe? It's kind of like glowy. It looks just like MAC Jest, but I already talked about that recently. But I love this eyeshadow, and I do have that on my lids today. I am wearing something different in the crease today. I didn't use the Earthly Taupe. I used this, and I bought this about a month ago, and I was gonna include this in a video and talk about it, and then I forgot. I do that sometimes. But this is not an eyeshadow at all, but I'm using it as an eyeshadow in the crease. And I actually like this a lot better than Earthly Taupe, and it is Maybelline, but what this is it's their brow powder. And it's called Ultra Brow, and this is in the shade light brown. But I like this a lot better than the Earthly Taupe. I tried it today. I originally bought it for my brows, and it didn't really work out for a brow product, but I use it as an eyeshadow. So let me hold it up next to the Earthly Taupe so that you can see the difference. Okay, so this hand is going to have the earthly taupe, and then this one is the brow. So see, it's just a little bit darker to the point where it actually does show up in your crease. And it goes on nice and everything, and it is a matte. So I really like that better than what I had originally recommended, because yeah, the earthly taupe is just a little bit too light. So this brow powder is a good substitute. And it has a little tiny brush that comes with it that's perfect for doing your brows, because that's what it's supposed to be, a brow powder. But what I do is I use a different brow powder, but I use that brush that comes with that Maybelline one. And then the very first eyeshadow that I bought after Maybelline reformulated was the Chai Latte, and that's what that looks like. And I just wanted to like do a little bit of swatching on this to show you how each individual color swatches. Where it's a quad, I thought that, you know, you might be curious. And the Chai Latte original one was pretty popular with a lot of people. So this is the base color right there. And then this is the lid color. It's a copper. This one, as you can see, the base color swatches pretty well, but the copper one, not so much. And then the crease color is kind of like a camel color, I would say. And that one isn't very pigmented. And that's the liner right there. Now, what I would do with this is I would just use the base color on my eyelid and then use the liner color in my crease, because the other two colors, I don't really like them that much. And I think you would have a hard time trying to work with those to create a look. So I would just simplify it and just use the two that do swatch nicely. So that's it, you guys. I guess the end result of this would be that the new Maybelline formula is very hit and miss. And, you know, I know a lot of you have probably seen that new palette that they have out that has a lot of colors in it. It's their largest palette ever that they've released. And overall, I feel like there's too many really dark colors in there to do a wide variety of looks. I think they should have put some more mid-tone colors in there. And when you look at the palette, it's just too many deep colors. And I guess from what I've heard, it varies in terms of, you know, some of the shades are pretty good and then some of them are just like, you know. So I don't think I'm going to be picking that up. I like to play around with my Maybelline shadows now and then, but I really don't reach for them that often. But it is interesting to compare them to other things and see how some perform versus others, and that's it. So have a nice rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.